might have got some feedback. Good evening.
All right, let's go.
There we go.
I was going to say, it wasn't.
All right, let's go. Who's doing that?
I was going to say, it wasn't.
All right, let's go. Who's doing that?
It's not me.
Herman, what are you doing?
It's not me.
Is Herman muted? Herman.
Ed, you got something playing in the background?
It's not me.
No, I have nothing here.
Herman
I have
muted?
a meowing cat. That's it.
Because I can mute Ed and it stops.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, right now you're muted, Ed. Now, okay, unmute him.
Mute Ed and it stops. See?
So
Okay, right now
he
you're muted.
have
Now, okay,
YouTube?
unmute him.
Mute Ed and it stops. See?
Can you hear me now?
So
Okay, right now.
Ed can hear you, but there's an echo coming out of your mic or something. Because we've got like a 10 or 15 second delay on everything. Oh.
So yeah.
Did he leave? Come back?
So I think what's going on is he probably has the actual YouTube tab open as well as the StreamYard tab because there is that delay. So yeah.
That's right, because the only way y'all can see comments is to have YouTube app open, right?
Yeah, well, I'm actually about to go do that, but the thing is you can pop out the chat. Like if you click on the 3 arrows, you can pop it out.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but when I don't know about the posts, but when you're when you're on StreamYard, I can see and react to private chat, but I can only see comments. I cannot respond to comments in StreamYard.
Right. You can't if you're not the host.
Okay,
like
that's why people have YouTube open so they can respond.
Right. But you don't actually have to have it open. Like you can. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to mute myself so that we don't get feedback, and then I'm going to go to YouTube to the stream. In the little live chat in YouTube, there are the 3 buttons up there in the top right corner. Click on that and click pop out and then close YouTube. And then that chat will remain open in another tab. So that's what I'm about to do right now. So I'm about to mute myself and go over and do that.
Okay. I just did that. Thanks.
Yeah.
What's up, Mark?
Hey, what's up, Dan?
How are you?
Good. Love those cards.
Oh, no, I'm glad you like them. A little different, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you already have that Ted Williams. Is that the only other Japanese Minko you have?
All right. How's that?
I have a couple other ones, but
Okay.
I couldn't tell you who they are.
That's better.
I have the Ted up on the shelf here. He's on the back of it. Yeah.
That's good, Ed.
Yeah, I shut all my browsers down and rebooted.
Yeah.
So
Did you have the YouTube? We're talking about
in my
that when you
office.
popped out. Did you have the YouTube app open?
It might have been open in Safari, so I shut it all down and restarted.
Okay.
I'm usually down in my office. I'm upstairs today, so I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is up here. It's pretty far away. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, Ed, where are you? Can you tell me where you're located?
Tiverton, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Okay. Do you and Mark know each other?
We've met once at the Shriner show this past summer or fall.
Yeah. One of these days, I'll meet Mark. One of these days. Hell, if I can ever get out of Korea for like a day or two, I think that's the biggest thing. Don't
you got a trip planned, haven't you?
No, I did have, but the Korea reimposed the quarantine.
Okay.
So I ended up having to cancel the trip because I'm on vacation right now. I only have 15 days of vacation. They reimposed the quarantine on international travel regardless of vaccine status. So I'm fully vaccinated, three doses. But I still would have to quarantine for 10 days upon arrival back into Korea. So, and I've only got 5 or 15 days. Now, Dan can tell you, I mean, Dan would be traveling to a city, but essentially you lose about 2 to 3 days in travel just going to and from.
Mm-hmm.
So you take all of that out, 10 days, say 3 days. I've got 2 days in the U.S. And I'm going to be jet lagged and sleeping the entire time. So,
Yeah, it doesn't make it worth it.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you leave on Monday and get back on Sunday. So,
Mm-hmm. Yep. And in addition to that, there's the other thing too. Like they've changed restrictions in terms of the actual like testing. So basically, I would have to get to America, immediately like get COVID tested, and then get back on a flight like the next day, coming back. So I don't know. It's just weird. So anyway, that's that.
hey, Jenny. So did Mark, I think Jenny said that y'all were supposed to meet up somewhere at a show. Was it this week?
It wasn't me. It's a different Mark.
Oh,
It wasn't. I think because I think we both responded to something at the same time, and the other Mark lives out in Wisconsin someplace.
okay.
So it wasn't me.
No.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Marks, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
So how's everybody doing?
Living the
Great.
dream.
Busy with work, but other than that, doing good.
I have my first colonoscopy tomorrow.
Oh,
Ooh,
Oh, fun. Nice fun.
Well, I know I have to drink some fluid at 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then my colonoscopy is at 2 p.m. So,
well, the prep is the worst part of it. You sleep through the colonoscopy. It's the prep.
well, I just hope that it solves any problems I have. So
that fluid you're about to drink is no fun.
Man, yeah. I've
does
already
it make
had
does it make you go right away?
about a half hour later.
Yeah, don't go too far from wherever you're comfortable.
I've had to do it 4 times. My dad had colon. He died from colon cancer, so I've been doing it since I was 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I turn 46 next month, but it's good timing because I've had some issues, so I hopefully this helps.
Can't hurt.
No, exactly.
Nope.
Herman,
like
what you
Ed
got
said,
on
the
what you got on the
procedure's
schedule for us?
I really don't have anything. I mean, there's some stuff out there, but I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
I mean, God, this week, like with which I don't do Pokemon. Some of y'all might, but you had the Pokemon case last week.
Mm-hmm.
And this week you've got the what was it? Was it last week with the whole Trevor Lawrence kaboom?
Yeah.
The guy was going to give it away, and then he didn't give it away. Yeah, you got PSA with it's not really so much PSA, but the Mike Sports Cards.
Mark's
Mike's cards, yeah. And that's, I mean.
Well, if and when they get down to $20, then I'll participate in PSA.
I just heard this morning. Now, like I didn't hear any specifics on who, but I heard this morning that there are other large group subbers that are in the same situation as Mark's cards now.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's coming out. So basically, I guess they were like the first, but there are some other ones out there that did the same thing. Basically, they submitted, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They went in over their head.
Yeah, and now that PSA is ready to release them, they don't have the funds or the credit lines or whatever to actually get the cards out. So, and I commented on that in a video where somebody was talking about it, and I said, of course, the group subber is it's their responsibility, right? A lot of it falls on them, but at the same time, just outside of a town called like PSA is not without blame in this. If I'm PSA, like my company would be set up to accept that payment sooner, right? Accept that payment up front. Because the thing is, it's like, and I know that they're like, well, PSA does it because they might end up having some that come back, I guess like Dan says, the N9s or whatever, and so they don't charge you for them. But like you can just you can issue a refund, right?
Yeah, they're going to be doing that a lot, but it's better to do that instead of what they're at right now.
Well, I don't know that they're going to be doing that a lot because I honestly don't see. I mean, I see you get a lot of them, but you're sending in foreign cards. I don't see that happening a ton with like, non-foreign cards.
I don't know the numbers, but I would like to know how many N9s or N6s. Well, I just do N9s they issue every month.
Yeah, I mean
N9 meaning unidentifiable cards.
Right. So. But yeah, so I do think that like some of it is on PSA because of their business model, in my opinion.
Well, there's definitely a lot of money being passed around, and that can cause people to do crazy things, especially when you're sitting 9 months, 12 months on a backlog and sitting with all that money. These guys, who knows what they're thinking?
Right.
Yeah. Mickey had asked what happens to the cards. Or what could they sell their cards to recoup their losses? But I had heard that PSA was working with some of these group submitters that to get the cards back to the people that submitted the card. In other words, because the what Card Collector 2 was, he paid to get some of them brought back. Mm-hmm. Actually, technically paid double.
100,000, I think.
And I heard that PSA was actually going to eat the cost on some of it to kind of help a lot of the collectors out. In other words, they're taking it in their own hands to help bail this guy out. Well, not bail out the Mike's cards, but the people that subbed with him.
Right.
Well, George is right. Their business model is a big factor in why this happened.
Yeah, and the thing is, they encouraged this. Like, if you think about PSA in general, they encouraged this. They had on their website their trusted group subs and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, send your cards to them, and they'll send us like 25,000 at one time. Makes it simple on you. Then people can't pay their bills, so to get the cards back. So.
Initially when I was using PSA for grading my manually cards, I would sub myself and actually have a membership. But when I came to Korea, I stopped collecting manually and started doing some more stuff. And then I started submitting through a friend of mine back in the US, and he would just ask for the money later after the subs came back and you got the cards in hand after they popped, and then you get them in the mail. But I'd rather prefer to pay up front so I don't have to worry about having money later when you never know when the cards are coming back.
Exactly, because you don't know when it's coming back, right? I have cards right now that I sent in February of last year, like February 2021. Well, here we are, basically February 2022, and they still haven't even been done yet. I mean, like, and who knows when they're going to come back. And that's fine. Like whatever. I'm not that worried about it. To be quite honest, it's so funny. Like the cards that I sent, with the exception of 2 of them, are now practically worthless. So I kind of was trying to ride that wave, and that wave came crashing down. So, like a couple of them are just basically going to be giveaways on Twitter, most likely, because I'm gonna pay my fee, get my cards, and then I'm gonna say like, okay, who wants this because it's worth like $3.
So I've never submitted anything to PSA, George. So you're telling me that you give them the cards and you don't have to give them money up front?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Because I brought my father-in-law had some cards and he wanted them graded. We went to a show and PSA was there and they took them, but he had to pay up front that way.
Maybe a show. I've never submitted a show. Maybe shows are
At
different.
a show, he had to give them money with the cards.
But he got the card back that day, right?
No. They took it. He got it back like 3 weeks later.
Oh.
Sometimes you can sub and get back the same day, but those prices are even more outrageous.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I want to say, I think it was Mike Moynihan, baseball collector. I think he said he was. I think he was submitting some like Hank Aaron's or some really vintage rookie card, and I think he was at a show and you could do the same day grading and get it back. And I want to say it was like $200 to $250 for one card.
Yeah.
He could have done that, but he wanted it with the hard case, not the one they give you for the same day, I guess.
No.
Right.
These are actually encapsulated in the slab.
Oh no, I've never done it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But took the card and the money, and he got them back, a month later or something. Nice.
Yeah.
So,
with with the way PSA does their upcharge, I guess that's the reason why they don't charge up front.
Well, that's the thing too.
Yeah, that's part of it. But the thing is, it's like, I think what they could do is, well, number one, not do an upcharge. Just I got messages coming through. Not do an upcharge. I've never been a fan of that, like the whole upcharge business. Not that I'm sending in anything that's, upcharge worthy. And if I do send something in, so for example, I had one card that was questionable. It was that Lewis Robert that I had that I sold. It was questionable. I wasn't exactly sure because there weren't really comps out there. So I was worried that it could end up being more valuable. So I just went ahead and submitted it and paid more at a higher level. I didn't try to slide it through in some bulk low level or something like that,
Well, here's my question on that. Who determines the value?
PSA does.
I mean, especially on a newer card that may have, like, say it just came out last week and you go straight to PSA with it, and there's no comps on eBay or whatever. It may be a $1,000 card, $2,000 card, but who's
right.
PSA? I mean, they're in the card pricing business now. I mean,
yeah, I think they just speculated on the hype, basically.
So once they hold it for 6 months and it's only worth $400, do you get your money back?
Nope.
What a deal.
Right, exactly. Nobody ever downcharges when the prices go back down, and that's what I was talking about. Like where I have 4 cards with them right now that, and they were under the upcharge. I mean, they were basically qualified for the bulk rate, which I sent them in at. But even then, like, they're going to come back and so, like, I sent these cards in that basically they probably had the potential of being worth $100 or so. But now, like, in all seriousness, they're going to come back a year later and they're probably going to be worth like $5, $10. So, less than what it cost me to sub. So, whatever. But I do have this right here. So here's the 55 Willie Mays. There's the 59 Bob Gibson on the back. And then there's another one in there. I have 3 that I am actually sending in on tomorrow. Well, today's Sunday here. I'm sending these 3 to SGC, actually. There's a group subber here in Korea that does SGC. And I'm going to send these to SGC. And here's the thing. SGC is one of those that does an upfront type payment situation deal. I don't think it's exactly upfront. Like, they basically, once they start the grading process, they charge it. So basically, they'll get the card, and so you may have a week or two that you don't get charged, but then as soon as they start grading, then they charge it. I think is their like way of doing it. So that's still, I guess, not perfect, but I guess maybe it's better. So yeah. Whereas, like I said, PSA is all the way at the end. But yeah, I'm sending these into SGC because, well, the thing is, I actually subbed some cards here in Korea to this new Korean company, and I was gonna send these to them because, to be quite honest, I prefer to keep my cards close to home, so to speak, if at all possible.
Right.
But the thing is, they don't do anything pre-99. It's only 1999 or newer. For 1950s, they're not going to do. Also, they don't have the holder. Like, they only have standard size slabs. So they can't slab an oversized card like these 55 Bowens, you know. So, you know, but anyway, SGC, they'll do. Now, those cards right there, they're not going to grade high. They're going to grade in anywhere from the 1 to 3 range. So, you know, which is fine. Like, I'm not. The thing is, I'm looking to protect them and have them authenticated more or less. So.
Yeah, that's for your set, right? That's the set you were working on, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's for my set, and then of course the Gibson rookie. That's part of my Gibson PC. So, you know, and
Dan, is that whole shelf Burley behind you? All that whole rack, or just that one shelf?
Most of this is Burley, but some of it's mixed in with some other White Sox players.
And then what I think I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
It looks like he's going to stay on the Hall of Fame ballot. He's not.
Oh yeah,
in,
I haven't been paying attention. So yeah, I'm thrilled about that. So hopefully he can stay on every year.
Yeah.
Maybe get more and more, depending on who's on the ballot every year.
These are all Gibsons. So I think this is like almost the Gibson run. So I think what I'm going to do, since I'm submitting the rookie to SGC, I think I'm going to send about 3 to 4 per month because the guy does monthly submissions to SGC. So I think I'm going to do them in about 3 to 4 per month until I get the entire run slab. You know,
well, that's what, $120 for 4 cards, $30.
What? Yeah, $30 for $30 a card. So basically this sub right here is going to be like $100, and then if I send this, that's another 100, and then another. You know, basically $100 a month for about 4 months, and then I'll have his entire run slabbed. So
yeah.
I
So
know.
Do you have one of those albums, George, where you can put the graded cards in the sleeves in the album?
I don't. I have like cases over here, like suit case. I don't know. Like graded card cases.
Pelicans.
Yeah. Well, no.
I know they sell. Yeah, they sell binders for them with special pages.
Yeah.
Like
There's 4 per page, right?
Like.
There you go.
I think I saw 6 per page, but I don't know. Could be different.
Yeah. So basically, like this. You can see it right there. So anyway, so that's you know, that's what I'm doing. Oh, that thing's heavy as shit too. Like
well,
not
that's
light.
So that 70s car sale won't know if you ever run into like custom issues for your subs.
So for example, the reason why I use a group subber here in Korea is because of customs. I don't necessarily run into them. I don't run into customs issues with my subs because I'm doing it via a group submission. And I'll tell you about that in just a minute. I do run into customs issues with my just personal purchases. So, for example, a lot of times I'll get ComC purchases or whatever in, and yeah, it gets held up in customs. I have to fill out the paperwork to get it cleared, pay some taxes and things like that. Now, so what I was going to say, I spoke with CSG, not SGC, because I was thinking about going with CSG and just doing a huge bulk sub myself. So I spoke with CSG, and they said basically there's a form that you can fill out. It's essentially kind of like a maintenance and repair form that you can fill out and put into the box. And basically it shows that you are the original owner of this item, and you're sending it to another country to have a service done, to have it repaired. And they include that form in the box when they send it back. And as a result, customs will not charge you based on the value of the card. However, they will charge you a value added tax for the cost of the service. So, for example, value added tax for Korea is 10%. So, to encapsulate a card with SGC, it's $30. So that means I will get a value added tax of $3 added to that card when it comes back. Even though I may send this card and it may be worth, say $200. Well, I don't have to pay $20 in tax. I only have to pay $3 in tax, and that's just for the service of the encapsulation. So it all comes down to having that form filled out. And the thing is, I actually had Korean Customs send me the form, and oh my God, is it just a nightmare looking form. Like, it's all kinds of random stuff that you'd need a degree in rocket science to be able to interpret. So, so basically, and then I spoke to somebody else, and they said, I spoke to another group subber and was talking about what I was thinking about doing. And I'm here in Korea. And he told me, he said, look, he said, what you've got to do, he said, if you want to do this, and he said, I'll help you. He said, go to FedEx. He said, FedEx actually handles all of that paperwork for you. He said, FedEx is way more expensive than the Postal Service, like 3 times more expensive than the Postal Service. But they handle all customs paperwork. They handle all customs taxation. They handle everything. So you go to FedEx and it's all included. So you just basically hand off the stuff, say, this is what I've got. They fill out all the forms. They take care of everything. You do nothing. So you're paying them a lot more, but you're paying them to provide that service that's actually quite difficult to do yourself. So that's kind of what happens here.
Well, in the case you're talking about, though, it's almost worth the increase to not have to deal with the paperwork and the headache of filling it all out and making sure you've got it filled out right, because I know that just I had an issue where I sent some stuff up to Canada and had to fill out the paperwork, and one mistake cost me $20-something of shipping because it got turned around and sent back to me.
Yep.
And then I had to turn around and send it again with the corrected paperwork, so and that's just to Canada. I couldn't imagine going to over to you and going through all that. So yeah, it's and the thing is, the general paperwork. So for example, the general paperwork, if I'm just sending you something like directly, Herman, or even if you're just sending me something, it's actually quite simple. Mm-hmm. It's name, address, contact info, and what's in the box, and what's the estimated value of it. Declared value. Yeah, and so it's actually very simple in terms of that. However, if you do, but like you said, if you do miss checking one of those things, because sometimes, like, I've heard of them being sent back because the person forgot to sign it, like because there's a little signature blank, and they didn't get signed, so they got sent back, all because the person didn't sign it. So there are those little things that might, so you have to just double check.
But yeah, like with this stuff, like it's definitely more complex because I have the forms. Like I got the forms from Korean Customs, and I looked at it, and I was like, no. I was like, because all right. So here's the thing. I checked on all of it. I checked on the shipping. I checked on everything. So to send the submission via the postal service, it would have cost me about $60 to ship, but there's no customs anything provided. Now, no customs assistance provided. I have to do it all myself. Doing it with FedEx was going to cost me about $160 to ship. So about $100 more than using the postal service. But they take care of all that. And if there is a problem, they take care of it. So if they mess up filling out the document and it gets rejected, you don't have to pay any more postage because they're the shipping company. They just fill it out again and reship it themselves. Like, so once you're done, you're done. So it's definitely worth it.
Right.
But
so, Mark, it's been a while, I think, since I've talked to you. What you got new lately?
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't got a lot recently. I've been, I'm actually, normally when I do this, I'm in my office, which is downstairs. I'm actually in the room where my collection is right now. It was set up for my music collection.
Yeah.
Which I took down just before New Year's. And I've been up here working on this for 3 weeks, putting it all together. So I get all the baseball stuff up here now. So I haven't had time to buy a lot of stuff. Just organizing stuff I have and finding stuff I forgot I had. Because it was just all over the place.
So you did finally get all your music stuff out then.
I have some of the albums still. They're behind me on the floor, but I weeded some of them out. But I have shelves all around this room, and they were loaded with music, and they're empty now. Now it's all Red Sox stuff.
Nice.
Slowly getting there.
So are you still doing anything with the music?
All this, I had mostly what I put into storage was all my CDs, cassettes, and 8-tracks. I filled like 15 30-gallon tubs, and those are all in my basement now.
Mm.
Vintage music magazines, all kinds of stuff like that. If I took this and turned it around, you'd see it. All my tools are on the floor. My compressor, my nail gun. So I've been building shelves in here. So
okay.
Look behind me looks good. In front of me doesn't look so good. Got a nail gun and a hose, 2 screw guns, a compressor, a ladder, a level. Everything's all over that way.
So what do you got? I mean, what do you got on the shelves behind you?
Well, there's a couple of music things up there. See, there's an Allman Brothers display. See it?
Yeah.
That one. There's some albums I kept on the wall. I think you can see them. And then up it this way, those are starting to get filled up right there. It's all my Red Sox stuff.
Nice.
And then I
That's
built,
awesome.
I don't know where I'm going to be aiming this, but I built a little shelf up top for some of my vintage stuff. So it's been time consuming.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. The next time I go to see my family in Northern Mass, I want to come visit you.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's only like 40 minutes away.
Well, I'm hoping to go there this July or August. So let's plan for then if I go.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so I haven't really bought a bunch of new stuff. Just organizing what I have right now.
Right.
So I haven't seen you since Georgia won the championship. So I thought you went to like a 2-week bend.
We've been partying like it's 1980 over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We which obviously the Monday that the game was on, we weren't going to be on, but then last week we had some internet issues, so that didn't happen. Which we had a little bit of a We call it a snowstorm, but some of the y'all up north might call it a flurries. But
yeah, how much did you get? You got a couple.
I think it was here. I think it was about 6 inches, 5 or 6 inches.
I mean, we get snow all the time, and people that live here, the first couple storms, they absolutely forget how to drive and they lose their mind anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure.
Right.
But then by the end of the year, if you get 10 inches of snow, it's not even a big deal anymore.
Right. Well, and around here, a lot of it is the fact that people they don't know how to drive in it. But the biggest part of it is the road crews around here don't know how to handle it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, like up north and through the winter months, the roads pretty much, I'm pretty sure they stay treated every day they treated. They're scraped, they're sprayed, they're whatever. But here they wait till the day of, or they wait till it's already 2 inches on the road before they even start trying to do anything. And by that point, it's late. But like I said, it's a combination of the two. The best way to drive in it is to stay at home, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually got snow last night.
I get snow here. We had a little bit here.
That's the first time, and I can't remember when that we actually got snow twice in a week.
Here the driving isn't bad. They do a decent job of keeping the roads taken care of, so the driving part isn't bad. It's the walking part that'll kill you here because so there are a lot of sidewalks in a lot of different areas, and they have granite. It's just slick granite sidewalks. So you put snow on top of slick, polished granite, you're gonna bust your butt, So
Rich is here.
Hey, Rich.
Hey there.
Good evening, Rich.
Hey, Rich.
Good evening.
And I found a tube so I can send the Eckersley piece to you. I can roll it up and send it now.
Nice.
I cleaned everything out and found a whole pile of them someplace. So
I have a spot cleared up for that.
Good. Yeah.
Well,
I'll get that note this
Eckersley
week.
piece.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
It's probably 14 by 16 print of Dennis Eckersley. They're really nice.
There you go. There's Dennis Eckersley right there.
Oh yeah.
So
wrong.
Top's black, cool card, the autograph.
Yeah.
It looks like the top's black. Am I right?
It is. The top's chrome black. Yeah. This is encased here in Korea by a Korean, not graded, encased. So I sent in a bunch of cards to be encased. This is part of my Hall of Fame autograph collection. So I sent them in to be encased. Actually, really happy with it. I have some more, like the run of the Cardinals living set that I'll send in to be encased. There's some more autographs, Hall of Fame autographs to be encased, stuff like that. So, like I said, they're not
for that. How much?
What's that?
How much does he charge to do that?
About $8.
That's not bad.
There you go. That's not bad at all.
No, not bad. Considering that a one touch costs you about $3. So at least this, they have it's encased, it's labeled with what it is and all that. So I don't know. I mean, I like it. It's pretty nice. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, about 2 years ago, a one touch would cost you about $8.
Right, it would have, right? So see, I'm building my stack. I'll show you the one. He did mess up on one. Now, first off, I like that when he does them, he does the label like this vertically. So that's pretty awesome. But the thing is, he messed up here. He wrote 2020 Topps Tier 1 Baseball when this is 2018 Topps Update. So basically, when he was putting in the information, he just didn't switch that out. So and I'll get that taken care of. Like basically, when I send in this other stack to like be encased, I'll just send that back with it and just be like, yo, like swap out my label and get that done. So
what are those? Those the same like a regular Grady case? They just encapsulated.
Yeah. They're basically they're a little bit thicker than a PSA, but not by much. Size wise, like they're the same. The thickness is a little bit thicker, and the reason why I know that is because you can't, like the PSA Perfect Fit sleeves, you can't put these in the PSA Perfect Fit sleeves. Like they're a little bit too thick to go into them. But yeah. So I do like it.
As you guys know, I collect my Burley, and I used to store my Burleys in semi-rigids inside these ECW vault boxes. So, but I decided to change it up, and whoops, I now have all my Burleys in the Z folios.
That's
And
nice.
it takes about all of my Burleys fit in, not including the thick autos or thick patch cards. All of my Burleys fit into four albums. Each album holds 360 cards, back and front. You can't see the backs. You'd have to actually take the backs out. But I do like how it zippers up. So I have a blue, orange. I'm sorry. I have blue, yellow, green, and red so far. So if I'm going to do more, I'm going to buy some different colors.
So, are you trying to put them in any particular order, or just putting them in?
They are in chronological order.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
I'm sorry. And I have about for you guys that don't know, I collect a Korean baseball player that's retired. His name is Lee Sung-yup, and I have about 18 cards I need of his to be graded by PSA. So until it comes down to like $20, these aren't getting graded. Yeah, you should put those in the BRG, or not BRG. The guy who does.
I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it right here. These bad boys. She's pretty good looking. Decent. She'd do in a pinch, But anyway, got these out of the trash pile at the card shop this week.
So Dan, you with the binders, you said you had them in chronological order. Are you leaving? Go ahead.
I have left open spots for cards that are not like 1 or 5 serial number. Anything like higher, I would leave a spot open for just in case or like a sample. I don't have like samples coming gold or silver. If I don't have a silver or gold, I would leave a spot open. Was that what you about to ask?
Yeah.
I did do that for all.
That was kind of where I was, because I wanted to do my Freemans that way, but I didn't want to start putting them in, and obviously I leave blanks for certain ones, but to get down through and then next year run up on a card that I had never seen or didn't know existed, and come to find out, I don't want to shuffle through the whole binder to.
Well, like George said, when I was talking about doing that, I even had the cards in front of me, and I would forget to leave a spot open for it or put it in the correct year. So maybe down the line when I have, I'll put them on the same page, like maybe in something else that's flat, and just close the book. So maybe down the line I'll worry about that and redo it when I have time. But yeah, I'm sure it's hard to leave every single spot open for things you might or might not get.
Right.
Yeah. I think I have a card you don't have, Mark, a Boston Red Sox card. All right, so I have this Tom Seaver Sport Flick from 1987, but it was the one that was connected to the display.
Oh, I don't have that then. Oh.
I'm not sure. Is this something you want? Okay, I'll send it your way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll throw this your way. Oh,
I'll find a spot for 'em.
if I have doubles, do you want these little trivia cards of Red
Sure.
Sox?
Yeah, I have a little box of those.
Mark, it's got to be hard for you when you go to a show to find stuff you actually need for your collection, isn't it?
It's very hard.
I'm sure.
It's very hard. I've been to a few shows that are pretty decent, and I've left with nothing. So,
Because you're also more
with
focused,
guys-
so for you to leave with nothing actually might make some sense. That happens.
yeah, it does. Yeah.
Uncle Rich, were you at the Were you at the trading day when when the thing went
No,
down?
I miss all the good stuff. I sold out my table Saturday about noon.
Right.
I went home.
That's what I was saying. It's like, yeah, you miss out, but you did miss out because you sold everything.
Right.
Like everything. So
Right.
that's awesome.
So I can't show you anything I've bought recently because it's gone. But I got, yes, it's good and bad, but I heard about the whole incident, and I mean there are certain things that went on, but as I said when I did Hobby Hotline today, I think Ryan Nolan of Breakout Cards has done a really good job delving in on the videos. And I just tell everybody, just look at his videos and just see what he's done, because it's better than anything I would know since I wasn't there by innuendo.
Right.
By the way, I don't know Ed. So Ed, give me a little background on you.
I'm from Tiverton, Rhode Island. Been collecting since 1973. Red Sox collector, Brooklyn Dodgers, Jim Rice, Yaz, Fisk, Lynn. Those are my PC guys.
We're overloaded with Red Sox fans.
We're doing, yes. Rich, when's the last time you saw one of these?
Oh, what is that? The Laughlins? Oh,
Yeah.
those I haven't seen for years.
It's the
Wow,
Giant
that's nice.
75, and it's on the
Yeah,
back.
those are tough.
It's signed by Laughlin.
Nice.
Yeah, Laughlin was one of these sports artists who was ahead of his time. Today he would have done Project 2020 or Project 70 or whatever. But in those days, the artists like Laughlin and Bob Parker, and they did their own stuff. There's another Laughlin. There's the Leaf. There's the Fleer World Series cards.
That's another rabbit hole I just went down. I collected those when I was a kid, and I don't have them anymore, but I've just decided to start chasing them down.
Well, there are like 3 different versions of those cards.
Yeah. 71, 70, mid-70s has the...
And then they did like an update in the late 70s, but there's 70 and 71. One of the years has black backs, one of the years has blue backs.
Yes.
And then like 78 or 79, they did a third set where they updated.
Here's one of the update ones. That's an update one.
Yeah. Oh, the 75 series sure is.
Yep. This was not easy to find.
No, the updates are not easy to find.
No.
Well, the mid-70s, they came out with the oddball things in baseball. And,
right, he does like the great feats, I think. He does a couple. Yeah.
And that was when I had the one card that intrigued me when I was a kid, was the Ernie Shaw perfect game. When Babe Ruth got thrown out after one batter, and he was on the mound for all 27 outs, and he was credited with a perfect game. It was things like that. But yeah, they're interesting. I like, they're different.
I mean, and to me, one of the most fascinating things on the 70s are the TCMA cards. There's never been, there's been good cataloging, but there's never been, because they don't have it either. There's never been a true record of all the TCMA cards.
No.
I'm friends with Andrew.
79
he doesn't even.
And Andrew doesn't have all the records either. I mean,
no, he doesn't. Here's a Parker.
Yeah.
Mark,
I love how fast you can find all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you heard the first part of when we were on here. I'm reorganizing my whole room. So
Okay.
it's going to be a lot easier to find stuff.
I got you.
Yeah.
So,
Bo,
I just got home from dinner and I had to walk the dogs. So, certain things take preference over chats, i.e., my 2 dogs.
Yep, absolutely.
that was in the Beatles exhibit cards.
Oh, those are tough. Those are good.
George, Paul,
Wow, I like that.
John, Ringo. So, yeah, it's going to be easier to find stuff now.
And I saw KCB showing up some of his Burley. I saw KCB with his Burley cards.
Yeah, just last week I moved them from vault boxes to Z folios, which I really like. I don't
know if he's a Hall of Fame pitcher, but I hope that he stays above that 5% threshold, so he gets another year or two.
Well, Mark, was it you who said it looks like he'll?
Yeah, I think he's gonna make it. Yeah,
it's gonna be close. He's because I think they announce on Monday the Hall of Fame voting.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I think it closed on the 21st. Maybe was the closing of it.
It closes in December.
Oh, is it December? Yeah.
And it's still, and the way it looks to me, if we assume a little bit of drop off, I think Ortiz makes the Hall of Fame, and I think Bonds and Clemens are just going to miss, and Burley may or may not stay on the ballot. Looking at Ryan Thibodeau's vote tracker, he has a lot of help, and they have about 40% of the votes counted.
Right.
It's going to be super close with Clemens, I think.
It's going to be close with Clemens and Bonds, but usually the people who don't vote for a higher percentage of those who don't report their ballots have not voted for Bonds and Clemens in the past.
Yeah, they usually lose about 15% off that tracker.
Well, if they lose 15% off the tracker, I think it's closer to 10%.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, do you have any of these fathead tradables of Red Sox players?
I may have one.
Do you remember who it is?
I think I have a Pedroia.
Okay, this one's from 2011.
So I'm working up something. I'm not and this is nothing spectacular, but this is more art to go on my wall eventually at some point. Some people might recognize this just sort of in glancing.
Higher.
No, I'm going slowly.
He's trying to do a reveal.
Exactly.
Is that Ted Williams?
No.
Stan the Man.
Yep, exactly.
Stan. Yeah.
So it's going to be based on his Leaf rookie. So I'm working on it right now. It'll eventually get there. I'm just doing a little bit here and there. And of course his Leaf rookie has the different color background. It's not an orange background, but I just like orange. So I was just like, you know what? I'm doing orange. And it's not meant to be fully like his Leaf rookie. I mean, it's just sort of it's my project 2022 on it, or whatever you want to call it. My rendition of it.
Your interpretation.
I'm the artist behind this masterpiece, or lack thereof. So, just like all the masterpieces behind me here.
Now the ones behind you were taken up from photos, right?
Yeah, the ones music. Can you see that album in the background there?
Yep, I can see it.
You know which one it is? It's Allman Brothers.
Yeah, I can't.
Right, it's in the middle, right there.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm not sure exactly.
Is that a hat?
It's Allman Brothers Eat a Peach, and it's signed by 4 of the original Allman Brothers.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So, two of those guys are dead now too. So there's only two left.
So if anybody wants to pay me thousands for my artwork, I'm open. All ears right here.
You know, the Allman Brothers was the first live concert I ever went to.
I've probably seen them 50 times.
Wow. Jeez. Where are they from?
Right around the corner from Herm.
Oh,
Well, that's
really?
where they ended up. Some of them they're originally from Florida, I believe. But
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They,
I actually saw them. I actually saw them in Greenville. At there was an event they used to have there called Freedom Weekend Aloft, and it had it was like a hot air balloon festival, and they had concerts. They'd have like 3 or 4 stages set up with different concerts throughout the day, and they're one of the bands that was there that we went and saw. But yeah,
how long ago was that?
Oh, that would have been 92.
All right.
Yeah, 92.
Hey, I got something. Like I got right here. This is how I now video. Like it's the setup so that I can like shoot straight down with my phone.
Let me see. Back up. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's just a little, like basically I can sit there and it just goes straight down.
I like that. That's something I would like to use.
I paid a grand total of $2 for it.
Deal.
Now the reason why I paid a grand total of $2 for it is because Dan can tell you how like they have these different points type programs here in Korea where you can earn points by, like buying different things and stuff like that. Well, basically 1,000 points is the equivalent of roughly a Korean dollar, so to speak. Well, this right here, I think was $19, and I had like $17 in points. So I only paid like $2 for it. So,
yeah.
So
that's kind of like Bo's. That's kind of like Bo's Fetch.
Right. So it should help me do better quality videos when I'm actually showing cards. Like, because I hate when I'm showing cards and like there's a lot of distracting stuff in the background, or there's like a lot of like there's maybe the glare or things like that. With this, hopefully I can position things in a way that I don't get as much glare. It's straight down on it. But anyway, that's what I did the latest video with. I used that. Of course,
your tobacco cards?
Yeah, the tobacco cards, yeah.
I watched that this morning. It was a good one.
Like, of course, my positioning is a little bit off, but that's because I just haven't gotten used to, like where to position the card under the camera. That's the reason why you see so many people that use that type of setup. They actually will have like their logo in the middle of the mat, because that way they know as long as they're holding it over their logo, it's under the camera. So,
Yeah, that's what I do.
When I see John Wade Boggs fan do his, that's what I was hoping to do. I wanted to get to that.
Yeah. Well, grab one of those.
Well, I still need to order a breaker mat.
Yeah. You don't need a breaker mat, man.
I know. But I think they're cool, and I would like to have a cream cardboard one.
Here you go. Here's your breaker mat right here. Out of the.
Yeah. Well, I got one too, but I need it to be bigger though. This is all I have.
Yeah, that's the same one I've got, dude.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be bigger.
No. So this is what I use, George.
Right? Heck yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, I want something like that.
It's PVC.
George, my birthday is next month. Get me something, please.
You make that, Herman?
It's PVC pipe.
That's what I thought it was.
And
no,
it
your
actually
kitchen sink doesn't work. You took all the plumbing out.
Right. That's why we got no water in the kitchen. But I mean, it's got a PVC stand that goes over my table.
Right.
And this hangs over my head, and it just straight down.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, and And it's like I can even set up, because I'm probably going to do, like, I've got a couple of boxes of stuff over here. I'm probably going to do some live breaks. I mean, like, just when I say breaks, I mean just show like me opening some boxes live.
Right.
And that way I can be on the screen and have that looking down and stuff like that. So, just I figure I might give it a shot. Definitely not going into the breaking world, because I have no desire to do that. That's not my jam.
Once I get my room 100% done, I was thinking doing some videos in here and maybe do an overview of the whole thing, but then do one shelf at a time. Because some of these shelves are loaded literally with 35 different pieces on them. So I could do
that would be awesome.
Go or 10 minutes just on each shelf. Do one a week or something like that.
I think you have enough material for a long run there, Mark.
Well, I got enough. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I probably got 40 shelves worth of stuff. So
Yeah. So you can make it go for a while.
I can make it last. I can break it up. I can move stuff around. But I was thinking of doing those 5-10 minutes at a shot.
Right. I've got some
Well,
more shit I got to put up.
Take a picture of it, see if people see how much people can identify, and then we'll go from there.
Sure.
Right.
I got my shelves done in my closet. I hadn't done an updated picture yet. I think I showed you the start, George.
Yep. Yeah, you did show me that.
I got it finished. I'm still in the process of kind of organizing it like I want it, but I think that's the reason why I didn't do like a before and after. But just having them shelves has like made so much room in here. I should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah, I haven't done my follow up on my reworking of my room yet, because it's still being reworked, and I'm still working on it slowly. I mean, I'm on vacation right now, so I don't have anything but time to just like do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I get distracted. I get in here, and like the other day, I got in here and I was like, oh, I want to start separating out these cards and these cards and these cards, because I want to send these to get encased. I want to send these to get graded. I want doing all this. So that and I didn't plan on doing that. I planned on doing some other stuff. So it happens. So.
I do the same thing. I come here to get do some like organizing and whatnot, and I may turn on a computer to pull up trading card database to put some cards in before I put them in the box. Well, the next thing I know, I'm on Sport Lots and I'm like trying to fill some spots and some sets and stuff.
Right.
I done spent 2 hours on Sport Lots and buying cards instead of putting cards away.
Yep. Yeah, I do the same thing. Like I've got a whole tray back here, my sorting tray that I bought. I've got it, and it's just full of like stuff that's all random and unsorted right now. But the thing is, I have the tray. I'll sort it all out. But that's just sort of what like my shelf over here is still in bad shape. Like it's still not in good shape, but I'll get there. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've talked to you since we were talking about the whole Jim Rice deal.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It didn't.
That's too bad.
It was set up, and we ended up getting the code to go through our house. So my wife ended up with it. I ended up with it. In between all the quarantine and all that, I missed it, and he's went back home now.
Maybe next year. He was visiting family, right?
Well, my wife actually works with his nephew, but he has. I sent him 2 baseballs to hold on to, so that if he comes down for a day or two, at some point,
yeah,
hopefully I'll get him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I just want to say something having nothing to do with this, but somebody I knew for a long time who had a store that I'm guaranteeing you every one of you would have enjoyed. because it was truly a throwback store. I mean, you could feel like whenever I would go in there, I'd say, oh, my photo's still on the wall like it was in 1990. And certain things in that store never changed. I mean, yeah, new merchandise would come in, but a lot of things never changed. But he had the store for 38 years. And he passed this week of pancreatic cancer.
Oh, man.
And I posted about it on Net 54. I said, many of you, most of you don't know him. He's not a national dealer. He did a lot of vintage. Mm-hmm. He had a little store in Teaneck, New Jersey. He would do some of the local shows. And he truly was someone who enjoyed being in the hobby. And I think that's something trust me when I say every one of you would have enjoyed being in his store. And anytime we lose somebody, a store owner like that, or a person like that, it diminishes all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Places like that are few and far between now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because there were a couple local stores that were bought out 3 or 4 years ago. And I still go there, and they're still good. Don't get me wrong. But they used to be more based what I like in a store. And they've changed their business models to adapt to the modern world of sports cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that on a business level.
Right.
And so there was one store, and he had a wall of commons, and he owned a wall of commons because that's what the owner had. A year or so ago, they sold the wall of commons. Actually, the same person who bought the wall of commons is the person that bought me out. So, but the point was, for them, instead of having to try to figure out how much the cards were and all that, it was easier to make that we'll call it the supply shelf. And all the supplies and even things like Pelican cases, which I know Pelican cases can be a dirty word in this room. but they are available for sale, and it's easier for them to keep inventory on the shelf of supplies. And I always say, look, I miss it personally, but I think you've done the right thing for what you want to do with your store.
Right.
And so, what we like may not always be the best business decision.
Right.
Right. I had a good conversation with the shop that I had been to for the first time ever here in Korea. Earlier this week, when I went, and the shop itself was immaculate and amazing and whatever. The guy practically didn't have a card in there that was under $100. And they were going all the way up to tens of thousands of dollars. He had PSA 9 Jordan rookies. He had PSA 10 Tatis Sapphire autograph rookies. He had like red Juan Soto first Bowman Chrome PSA 10s, all this kind of stuff, like autographs. Guys got hundreds of thousands / millions of dollars of stuff in there. And we were talking about it. And the thing is, I like it. It's a really nice shop. It's not my style in terms of me, because first off, I can't afford the stuff, right? I mean, even if I like it and think it's nice, I'm like, I can't, this is way out of my price range, which is totally cool. And but me and him, we had a good conversation and about just collecting in general, and yeah, there are a lot of people that are in it for. And he brought this up. It wasn't even me, because I was talking about my collection, and I was talking about how my collection's a lot of just older stuff that isn't super valuable. I mean, nothing's huge, anything like that, but I just do it because I enjoy it. It's what I can afford and things like that. Sort of like the video that I did earlier today. And he was like, yeah, he's like, that's cool. He's like, he was sort of like, a lot of people aren't like that these days. And he's like, in business, we have to just be all about that high end big thing a lot of the times because he was like, people like you don't often exist, especially here in Korea. And I'm speaking about in Korea. He's like, everybody here is pretty much in it for the money in this area.
When I saw your video, it looked like those shops were. It looked like you were standing outside of a jewelry shop.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, they're very high end type places. They aren't down and dirty, but like he said that, you know, in the conversation that we had, he said that so many people here, they walk into his shop, they go over, and he has everything behind glass and these glass showcases and stuff. He has cases of F1 sapphire that's like two grand a box. He has sealed cases of it just stacked in there. But you know, people come in and he's like, yeah, that's where I got all those cards from. They'll come in, they'll buy a box, they'll drop $1,000, and they just think of it as gambling. Like they're in there for the gamble and hopefully hit that jackpot. And that's it. And that's the way a lot of collectors seem to be going here in Korea. A lot of basketball, a lot of high end, a lot of gambling. And that's what he said. That wasn't me. I mean, I said, I agree. That's kind of my observation as well. And he's like, yeah, that's the way it's going. But I told him, I said, hey, that's totally fine. That's not me. They can do what they want with their money. Like I'll keep picking up Paul Molitor like autographs for my Hall of Fame collection for like $30, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Rich, speaking of card shops, Baseball Nostalgia closed last week of December in Cooperstown.
That's been around forever and a day.
Yeah. Mike Aronstein started it, but the lease was up the end of December and they closed the shop. So, well,
at least in Cooperstown, you'll still have a shop because David Adams is going to set up, I think, sponsored by Topps, maybe now Fanatics.
and
David Adams will have a store. I think
from,
it's seasonal.
Sports, so he's a good guy too. Ed, do you ever go to Central Sports Cards in Pawtucket? You ever been in there?
Yes, I have.
I'm friends with John, the guy who owns it.
Oh yeah.
His daughters went to school with my nieces, so we used to go to sporting events, and we met there. But he doesn't have any old cards now; it's all new. He got rid of everything
really?
else. Yep.
Yeah, last time I was in there, I think was just before the pandemic. Yeah, and he had a nice mix. He had a lot of commons and base and stuff.
He got rid of it all. It's all modern now.
Wow.
He does breaks every night live in the shop with the
really
stuff. The other one near me is J&J in North Attleboro. You ever go there?
Yep, I've been there. I actually I spent about 2 hours in that shop. Maybe 2 or 3 months ago, just before Thanksgiving.
I'm friends with he's a good guy. I go in there and spend a couple hours on a Saturday. I bring him a coffee and I don't even have to buy anything.
Yeah, that's the type of place it is. And I grabbed
let me know. Yeah. I love going. Yeah.
You know, I've got the card shop that opened up here last summer in my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been in there about once a week since he opened, sometimes twice a week. But I stopped in today and was talking to him, and he actually said that he's about to expand. He's fitting to knock a wall out and make his shop bigger.
That's a great sign. I mean, the fact that he's willing to expand tells you that's a really good sign.
Yep.
And I mean, if some of the reason is to expand is to do, we'll call it, and I don't want to use the word honest, but to do good breaks, I'm fine with that. I'm a big fan of breaking done right.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, he's a it's a card shop / collectibles because he does like a lot of which he does. Obviously, he does Pokemon, but he does like the he does comic books and the Funko Pop and collectible action figures. But he's done a lot of which he does a good bit from like just from in here within town people in this area, but he's also done a lot to where he is he's picked up a lot of business online, and a lot of that's got a lot to do with him expanding. But just the fact that he's willing to expand means that he's not going anywhere, at least for the foreseeable future. So,
does he have a website?
He does.
Yeah.
It's I'm sure I'll get it wrong. I'll put the link up in the chat.
Yeah.
If I try to quote it, I'm sure I'll get it wrong. But it's
I'm switching my Pokemons over to the little binders like this.
How about some big pickups? What did you guys pick up this month?
Well, if you look behind me, you can see that's my Yaz Playing Days collection, and yeah, it's all PSA.
Right.
I'm kind of anal like that for display purposes.
And those open slots are needed.
Yeah, I just grabbed the 63 Fleer in a PSA 8.
Nice.
62 tops. So these will fill those slots, and then I picked up the 72 tops. So I think I'm down to I think 8 more I need.
Hold that back up, Ed. The 72.
Hey Ed, can you do me a favor and type in like on the chat? Can you type down what you need, which Yaz's you need?
Yeah.
I have a collector friend who does Yaz as well. Yaz PSA run.
I'm at 61, 67, 68, 69, 73.
73?
Yeah.
61, 67, 68, 69, 73.
Yep. And then that finishes the tops. And then I think I need the 81 Donruss and the 82 Fleer.
Okay.
Here's a Yaz for you.
I like that.
67 sticker.
Yep. Nice.
And here's a one. 69 4-in-1 with Rico.
Oh yeah. I met Rico last year at a show.
I saw him at the Shriners.
Yeah, I met him at one at Northern Mass. It was a small show at the Knights of Columbus. I had him sign a ball for me.
I get a couple Rico things someplace. I haven't dug those out yet.
But I also picked up. I love Brooklyn Dodgers ever since I read Boys of Summer when I was a kid. So I picked up this Campy.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
55 Campy and 56 Gil Hodges.
Hall of Famer.
Glad. Yeah, that was nice. I was very happy for his family, especially his wife.
Yeah, his wife's still with us. I think she's like 92 years old.
Yeah, it was. And then the last one I recently picked up is this Yaz Giant.
Nice.
This one's in good shape too. Very sharp.
Another new Hall of Famer. There we go.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me this. I don't even collect Mini Minoso, but a buddy gave it to me.
Nice.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, that's awesome. You're breaking out the 59 Mini. There's the 55 out of my set build there.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I've got like yeah, it was funny that Ed was showing those, and he was like, he pulled out the 63 Fleer, and I was like, yep, there's a 63 Fleer Gibson right there.
That's a
I
beautiful
love
set. That's a
I
beautiful
love
set.
Well, it's funny because you were talking about the Yaz run, and it's just that I have the Gibson run sitting here on my desk, which is the reason why I was.
Yeah.
That's why I was pulling out those cards as you were talking about them, and you were like the 72, and I was like, "There's the 72." You said the 60
paralleled a bit.
Yeah, you said the 62. Now here's the thing. I've got the 62.
There's that Pelican case, Rich.
He's in the vault.
I see that.
Well,
He's a modern dealer.
There's the 62 right there, graded. there's the 75 graded. There's the 71 graded. So some of them are missing out of that stack, but it's because they're already slabbed.
Yeah.
So those in that stack are destined to be slabbed. Like I said, with SGC, I'm gonna send like 3 or 4 per month and do that. So,
Ed, was that? Did you have that frame made, or was that holds so many cards and you're just gonna fill it?
Yeah, that it holds vertically 8 across. So you get the 60 that's horizontal.
Yep.
I'm gonna fit them all in there.
Nice.
Yeah, and I like SGC better. I prefer them more. But when I bought the rookie, it was PSA, and I just can't put PSA and SGC in the same display. It drives me nuts.
Right. Yeah, I'm coming to terms with that.
Well, I shouldn't say I never do like a small display like that, because I have a large cabinet upstairs in my office with 5 shelves, and that's just a potpourri of everything.
Right. Yeah, it's like I was seriously all like, I wanted everything standard uniform PSA, but I've come to terms that like with, it's like, okay, the reason why I want some of them slabbed are for, just basically, I don't know, protection, authentication, things like that. So a lot of times it's like I'm not so worried. So like these cards right here, like I said, I'm sending these in. I know they're going to grade in the 1 to 3 range. Like they're going to grade low grade, which is totally fine by me. And it's kind of funny because like I messaged the group subber and I said, hey, I've got some vintage cards that I want to send in. And I was like, you're doing SGC, so I'd like to send them to you to SGC. He immediately replied back and he's like, okay. He was like, well, send me the photos and everything, and I'll tell you like if they're good enough to be graded and all that. And I messaged him back and I was like, dude, these are going to be 1s, 2s, and 3s. They're extremely low grade, but I don't care.
Right.
I was like, I'm not. And that goes to show you that the way a lot of the collectors are here, they're so worried about that grade. So he screens the cards so that he doesn't submit a bunch of things that are going to grade low. And like for me, I told him, I was like, mine are gonna grade low, and I don't care if they grade low. So there's no worries about if I send these to you. I was like, I don't want you sending them back and saying like, oh, that's gonna grade like a 1, so no, you don't need to grade that. No, it's gonna grade a 1.
Take my
Look,
money.
a nice looking 55 Bowman. Let's say it has a pinhole, but that's all it has is a minor pinhole.
Right.
It'll grade a 1, but if the pinhole's pretty small, it's going to be a very attractive looking card for a 1.
Right. Yeah.
And so I don't have, there are all sorts of levels of 1. Now, if it's crinkled in 8 different ways, yes, but so you can have 1s that look better than 7s.
Well,
right. And and like Dan said, he was like, yeah, just take my money, send my card in, and that's what. And the thing was, the guy was really cool with that. He just wanted me to understand, because
right,
I'm sure that he's probably gotten burned before. I'm sure that someone has sent him some cards that they're thinking is going to come back, gemmed at a 10. It comes back at like a 7 or a 6 or a whatever. And then they start complaining to him. Well, that's crap. Why did you let me send this? I wouldn't have. I'm sure he's probably had to deal with that. So I'm sure that's why he's upfront about it. And he was really cool about it. And he was like, no, he's like, I think those cards are great. He was like, yeah, he's like, if you want them done, he's like, send them to me. I'll hook you up with all the information you need, and we'll get them done. I was like, yeah.
But not everybody has your base of knowledge either.
Right.
Everybody's cards are gem mint when they own them.
Yep.
Right. Yep. No, exactly.
Pack fresh. I pulled it from a pack.
Well, like I talked about the Willie Mays in the video that I did this morning. I flipped it over, and on the back of it, it has somebody named Bud wrote Bud in pencil on the back. But I don't care. Now, yeah,
that's my point. If it's a minor thing, it makes the card with physical damage. You get a 1, but if the front looks nice, that's perfect. That's perfectly fine card.
Exactly.
Right. Bud has probably flipped that card at a wall a few times.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, I have an eraser right here. I could probably lightly erase it, but I don't care. Slab it up, keep Bud protected for eternity. Like, I don't, like, that's cool with me.
There's a guy on Net 54. He was for a long time using the screen name Stuck in Omaha. Mm-hmm. And his goal, and I forgot the guy's name, is there's some guy who put like a stamp on the back of all his T206 cards. And this guy buys all the cards, or when they're reasonably priced, all the cards with this guy's stamp on the back. It's like he's rebuilding the guy's collection from more than 100 years ago.
Wow. Right.
That's pretty awesome. Cool. Maybe you can rebuild Bud's collection from 65 years ago.
Yeah. Get the 55 Bowman Buds collection. Long live Bud. That's what I'm talking about, peeps.
They're all 1-of-1s.
That T206 set, that would be you talk about just about an impossible set. To try to find one that has an individual stamp on it.
Right. Yeah, I've got several cards that are marked with people's names and stuff like that. Because that's the thing, is like, if you're into vintage, you're going to get cards that are marked with people's names, unless you just strictly will not accept that. I know some people won't accept it. They're like, no, I don't want any writing on the card. I don't, and that's fine. Like, me personally, if the card looks, hell, I was going to say, if it looks nice, it doesn't even have to look nice. There are some cards that it's just like, I want because it fits within my budget, and it's, it's like, okay, now I have that card. Or let me rephrase. In some cases, now I have a piece of that card, because that's what I actually have in some cases is a piece of the card. I don't have the entire card, but
right.
What
would you get back so far? You talking about cards with marks and stuff on them? I mean, good luck finding a checklist that doesn't have an ink mark on it.
Right.
Because back then that was the only checklist they had was the card.
Yep. No, exactly.
I have. Go ahead, Ed.
No, it's like the cards I was just. This is the Campy's a 3, the Gil Hodges is a 3, and these are beautiful cards.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They're not 10s, but okay, if they were 10s, I wouldn't own them.
Right. Well, so speaking of that, this is really funny. So when I say that, like, most of those cards are going to come back 2s or 3s, like, I do have. So I got lucky, and I got some of the 55 Bowman umpires that were in really nice condition. Like the Barlick and different ones like that, which are the Hall of Famers, right? Really nice condition. That if they grade in the upper levels, like say 7s or 8s, which I would say they could grade anywhere from the 5 to 8 range, because they were really nice. Well, you're talking about cards that are now worth, $400 or $500. So I'm kind of in the dilemma. It's like, okay, if I send these in graded and get them graded and they come back really nice, I might just sell those and buy lesser copies and fill in more parts of the set.
And there's nothing unusual about doing that. That's been done for 40 years.
Yeah.
When cards first got hot about 1979, 80, 81, there was a collector dealer out of New York named Bernie Feldman.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually downgraded his collection to sell the cars that were in nicer shape because he figured he could cash in.
Right.
It was very smart. And so there's always people that do that. If you get a 7 Cal Hubbard or Al Barlick or Jocko Conlon,
right.
I think those are the 3 Hall of Fame umpires.
Yeah, that's it.
And you get a 7 or an 8 on those, and then you can buy a 4 or a 5 with the money. I mean, I don't know what else you need for your 55 set, but you might even be able to get some more cards you need unless you finish the set.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. It's like I do need more cards. So it's like, if I get, say, a 7 or so on like one of those, you know what? I can probably get $400 or $500 for it. Okay. I can buy a lesser one for, $40-$50 and still have another 300 or so left to go to other cards that I need for the set, right? So
exactly. And that's why our friend Mike Summer always says his goal was to make it a self-sustaining hobby.
Right.
You don't have to do this for a living. And there's a big benefit of not having to do it for a living.
Right.
And, if you can do that and finish your set, I'm all in on that. That's getting a nice card to somebody else's hand who may want to have, I don't want to say status card, that's the wrong word, but may want to have that. And you who are just trying to finish a set that's nice looking, doesn't have to be great. It puts you a lot closer to buying, let's say 55 Bowman Highs, let's say the average is $20 each.
Yeah.
And let's say you have $400 extra.
Right.
Unless you buy 20 high numbers towards finishing your set.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like what you say there is about the reality of it. I mean, like the high numbers it's like if you find a lot of them at $10 a piece, you're finding steals on them.
Yeah.
And that's largely what I have left. Like, out of the cards that I have left to complete the set, the majority of them are high numbers.
Yes.
The low number portion of the set, I've got all except for like 2 or 3 cards. And guess what cards they are? They're
Mantle and Mays. Well, actually, you have Mays. Mantle and Aaron.
No, I've got the Aaron.
Mantle.
I am missing the Mantle. Yep. So I'm missing the Mantle. But then in general, the other ones that I'm missing are the Yankees. And why? Because in 55 Bowman, your Yankee commons demand like a premium because of the team and time. So it's like, you got this common of, I don't know, whoever, and it's like $20 that everybody's wanting for it. And I'm like, no, come on now. And it's all because it's a Yankee, right?
Well, I mean, let's face it, we have 2 Red Sox fans in the room, but nothing quite matches the beloved Yankees.
Right.
No.
Well, we have Mickey Watson. He's a Yankees fan. He could probably
Mickey is there. He's in there, yeah. But yeah, I am missing the Mantle. Like I said, I've got the Willie Mays that's going to be sent off. I have the Hank Aaron. Basically, I've got not every Hall of Famer in the set, but I've got most of the Hall of Famers in the set already. That was one of the things that I did when I started building the set. I immediately just started buying as many of the Hall of Famers as I could. Because it's like, once you get those out of the way, you can generally get cheaper cards, right? So, now with that said, a lot of the Hall of Famers in the 55 set are not that expensive. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I went down to, I think, 20 cards on that 72 set.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I mean, obviously they're all high numbers, and I've looked at a few of them and come close to picking them up, but some of the ones that I need is like the price that they're bringing is only because they're high numbers. They're not anybody,
right?
And it's kind of made me back off, but at some point I'm going to have to pull the trigger and get them if I'm going to finish it. So,
right. Yeah, you're gonna have to bite the bullet eventually and just go ahead
And
do it.
that's kind of like what you're saying about $20 for a common just because it's a Yankee. It's like
Right.
it's like $20 for a 72 tops high number just because it's a high number, and nobody's on the card.
Right.
So,
Yep. And,
Rich, what do you think the worst high number cards is for per year? 67, 72, the most pricey.
Well, 70 to 72 in that era, 72s, I mean, they all are about the same. 71 has the short prints. I mean, if you really want super high grade, 71's tougher. But 72, for whatever reason, is for the last I started doing shows again 7 or 8 years ago. 72s, I have a much better chance of selling than 70s or 71s. For whatever reason, 72 high numbers, I'm just saying from the 70 to 72 range, and they've just been more popular. Now, the 60s, you have certain high numbers years that are just really difficult. 61, even 60s getting more difficult. 62, you have the short prints. And then 63, you have those last two series. 66 and 67 just has some impossible singles. Let's face it, the Red Sox team card in 67, I think it's card number 604. That's kind of a popular card where you all are.
Yeah. It's $100 card.
It's yeah. It was always a popular card. Now it's $100 card. Probably should be about a $50 to $60 card if it wasn't for the year of the Impossible Dream. But it's it's the last series card, tough card of a magical year for the Red Sox. I think with the exception of a few people in St. Louis, everybody that year was a Red Sox fan. Yeah. So
I put that set together, and there's a lot of commons that cost $20 to $30.
Well, your short print high numbers in 67 are just brutal. It's a lot of money.
So
unless you get really lucky, the 10 triple prints, they're easy to find.
Yep.
I think there are like 22 easy cards and 67 highs.
Yep.
66 has some brutal high numbers as well. But 72s, for whatever reason, probably because the price point isn't out of sight, and it's a challenge because there's so many of them. For whatever reason, 72 high numbers has been, let's say, the leader in the clubhouse in terms of interest. For at least the last 10 years of interesting high numbers. Sorry for those of you trying to finish your 72 set.
right.
Well, you were talking about the 71s earlier. Like it's funny. So 71s, they're condition sensitive because of the black, right?
Right.
And it's funny. I've only seen the 71s just getting, I guess, more love and more pricey as it goes by. And I'll use this as an example. So here's my 71, one of my 71s. This is my graded 71 Gibson. It's a 6. Okay, really nice. Graded a 6. Now that card itself, I paid $30 for it last year. Now they're selling for $70. When things are dropping, these are still climbing. And
they're affordable.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Don't ever kid yourself. Stuff that stays affordable gets more popular. Stuff that gets hyped and comes back down is a different subject. Hey, a PSA 671 Gibson. I think the card number is 450, if I remember correctly.
450. Yep. Yeah.
That's a set, and that series is I'm going to use the term sneaky tough.
Right.
It's a sneaky tough series.
Right.
It's not known to be a high number, but I'm telling you, those cards are not easy in the 4th series in 71.
Right.
And I think that's a sneaky tough card. And I think you got a very good, and I think that's part of the reason it's still going up. People realize how sneaky tough it is.
Right.
The marketplace will tell you eventually what stuff is good and what's not. That's a good card. For our Mark Burley fan, if he starts getting, let's say, closer to the Hall of Fame recognition, I know you chase some of the sneaky, tough Mark Burley cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I know sometimes you complain about the pricing of them, and I get that. But again, if he starts building, and if he stays on the ballot and starts building upwards, that can become a sneaky tough player. You know, we got Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is not yet a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. But if he stays with the Braves and signs a long-term contract and finishes with the Braves and has a couple nice years to close his career, you know, 5-year, let's say they sign him to 5 years and he has some nice years. He's got the World Series ring. Did he win an MVP?
Not this year.
But
last year. Yeah, last year he did.
So he's got an MVP award. He's got a World Series ring. If he spends most of his career with one team, all of his career with one team, maybe, you know, after 15 years he goes somewhere else. That becomes a sneaky tough guy to overlook too.
Right.
So there are ways you can build your collection, and I want to use this term correctly, to also be your investment.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to collecting. I'm not opposed to investing.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with buying PSA 671 Gibsons at a good price.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with buying Burleys. No, Brad went home. Okay.
That's the thing about this. Like I said, I paid like $30 for it. Now they're currently selling $60-$70 for like a year later. And you have to realize that I bought this during the hype of the pandemic, like the big boom is when I bought it.
But it was a 6.
Yeah, exactly. It was a 6.
It wasn't a 7, an 8, or a 9. It was a 6.
Right.
And by the way, a 6 is X Mint. On a 71, I'm very happy to have an X Mint 71.
Right, exactly. But it's not collector's grade, so to speak, because it's not a 7, right?
Right. It's not investor grade. It's not collector grade. It's that nice middle of the road.
Exactly. But the thing is, I already had this one, which is actually really nice. It's actually better centered than this one, if you can see right there. The corners aren't quite as good, but the centering's better. There are no creases, stuff like that. But I bought this one just because I did want this entire run slabbed at some point. And I was just like, okay, I've got this one. I'll buy this one. But what I've been thinking about is if this one continues to climb, I may just get this one slabbed and just sell this one off to pay for the slabbage.
Exactly. Exactly. Make it a self-sustaining hobby. I have no trouble with that.
Yeah, exactly. So, so it just happened that, and that was one that, I just bought it because I was like, okay, it came up and I saw it and I was like, oh, this is pretty low. I was like, I think I can get it for fairly low, and I did. So
I think your partner on your Monday night show asked a really good question, made a really good comment.
Obviously, but I watched the game since
about the 6. He Ken made a really good comment.
Oh yeah, I was just looking there, like
this is the one you're talking about?
No, coming a little further down.
Oh yeah, it's collection grade. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a great term for it. Not collection grade. I think that's a great term.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because the thing is, because it's like they throw around all the terms like investment grade, collector grade, whatever. Yeah, and like that's the thing. I'm just like, if you want it, if you like it, if you think it looks good, if it appeals to you, then go for it.
It's the George grade. That's all it is.
Exactly. That's what this is. I mean, a 6 is almost like a G. I mean, if you just take a little bit out of it and turn it around, you turn it in the right direction, take a little off there, you got a G. So,
you have to learn how to soak your cards.
Yeah, exactly. Got to soak them, man. Now, like, yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't. I have a lot of cards like that they present well, They look nice. They've got a lot of flaws, but hey, they're like me. They're flawed.
Aren't we all?
Exactly.
To me, the criteria I use is if I'm comfortable displaying it. If it looks good to me, it's in my collection.
Yeah. Well, like I don't have it out because I put them away, but like that the T206 that I had shown last night, that seriously, it's missing the bottom corner and everything, and like it looks like a glue. It looks like it was like some glue or something. It got stuck in. You know how things get stuck in the bottom of a drawer and they get like syrup and stuff stuck on them? It looks like that's what had happened to it. Looks like it had been stuck in a drawer, and the maple syrup run down in the drawer, and like the card got stuck to it and ripped part of the card off, and now it's all stained up. But like I think that's pretty cool. Like I think it's a unique look, and it's definitely, if anything's a one of one, that is a one of one, because you're not going to find another one with that same pattern and rippage and stainage and all that, right? So
I've got a Harry Hooper Cracker Jack card that's cut to fit in a T206 holder.
Hey, it's a Harry Hooper. He's a Hall of Famer. Whether
Exactly,
he deserves
right?
to be in the Hall of Fame is another subject, but he's a Hall of Famer.
It's for a Cracker Jack. I paid $25 for it or something like that.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Oh.
You can still see his name. The edges are cut off, but that's a nice card.
That's a great card. I mean, you don't get a lot of 14 or 15 Cracker Jacks either way.
No, I have a speaker like that as well.
Here's the one that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Bresnahan?
Yep, Bresnahan.
That's a well-loved card. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
But I like the fact that Mark's happy with, I don't want to say bad condition, but Mark's happy with his off-quality Cracker Jack cards, understanding that at that price point, that's as good as he's going to get.
They're hard to find.
Well, that Bresnahan, like maybe it's an overpay, maybe it isn't. It's the what's it called? The overprint back. So it's got like the box over the back of it, or whatever. I paid like, I think $20 for it.
It's a Hall of Famer.
It's exactly. He's a Hall of Famer.
Fine.
It's exactly. So he's a Hall of Famer. I liked it. It's one of the rarer backs because it has the overprint. Only slightly rarer. Not like it doesn't like bump it way down, but it gives it a little more rareness. And I paid $20 for it, so whatever. It's all good.
Well, Bresnahan shares my birthday. He's a little before I was born, but Bresnahan, despite what some people think.
Right.
Bresnahan, so I always have a soft spot for anything Bresnahan anyway.
Right. Yeah. And I really I like that portrait. Like the green background on it and everything. It stands out. And of course there are so many in the T206 and stuff like that are like that. The T206, the T205s, like I love the T205s. Here's a good one. He's missing part of the top and bottom right here, and he's creased up down the middle. Phelps, but hey, I like it.
Old.
Exactly. I hope I look that good when I'm 110. Like when I'm dust, I hope I'm looking that good.
If we're above ground, we're looking that good.
Exactly. That's true. That is true.
So Ken brings up a pretty good point, though. He says that there's plenty of cars that he'd rather have in poor condition copy than the no copy at all.
Exactly.
Well, Ken's collecting a really rare racing card set.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, in that set, if he wants to finish it, he may have to take some poor condition cards.
Right.
It is better to have the poor condition cards for that really scarce set from, pre-war than it is not to have the cards at all for him. And he's right.
There's another one that's in really poor condition that I'm super happy to have because I paid like $20 for it.
That's the 52 Musial.
Yeah, 52 Musial. It's stained, it's creased, all that. But I paid like 20, I think, or no, maybe $30. I think is what I paid for it. Whatever, Hey, works for me.
Here's a set of cards. It's from 1896. It's actually a deck of cards. But the reason it's cool is this is what the back looks like. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Some of these, this is a whole deck with the box. Some of these cards sell individually $50 a card.
Wow.
I found this deck of cards at an antique store for $25. So just to get to know what you're
I wish
1896.
I wish we had some antique stores here with stuff like that.
Well, you don't always find. I dig for a while sometimes. It takes, like when I found that Life magazine with the postcards in it.
Right.
You never, because everybody knows the cover, so they dig for it.
Yep. No, exactly.
All right. Well, we're approaching 9 o'clock, which means I'm probably going to have to take my dogs out.
Dog time.
When I got home, I let them out the back door so they could do their business and run, but they probably expect Daddy to give them a walk.
Right.
Right. Got to take care of the kids.
Yeah,
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, Rich, we appreciate you joining.
It was fun. It was fun to have a conversation with collectors that don't worry about, we'll call it the bad news of the day, that you all are collecting for collecting's sake.
Right.
And that's always a fun conversation.
Absolutely.
And if you can make some money or come up with ways to pay for it, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always fun to have people who aren't looking for just the immediate return. Oh, that's a cool. Oh, I like that. I like Bobble.
Nice.
matches you have.
Burley. Why am I not surprised? But it's always fun to see people who are collecting for collecting's sake.
Right.
And there's a lot to, when I set up at my tables, I was always, and I know John's that 70s card show, Kin's been at my table. You've bought 3B's buck cards for me via Brad.
Right. I actually picked up 10 of my high numbers from Rich.
Right. And and my tables have always been more geared towards, I want to use the word collectors.
Right.
I was never, I ended up with 4 showcases. And, people would buy from the showcases. But I always had more fun when the people dug through my boxes.
Right.
And I think there's something cool about dealing with collectors.
Right.
I think that's more cool because you have a more lasting appreciation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, I think you develop some different relationships there and stuff like that where you just kind of hang out and you just sort of talk about stuff and see the enjoyment that someone's having, right? It's not just a business transaction. And you enjoy the conversation, you enjoy the hunt, things like that, I think. So
Well, you learn. You
Right.
learn a lot too because this hobby is so widespread, so diverse that you can't really know or be exposed to everything that's out there. But when you're with other collectors who they have focuses that you're not even aware of, you see their collections, you see what they're buying. It just you learn more about the hobby.
Right.
Well, and it's another thing too. It's there's a connection there, like you said. If you're sitting there going through the boxes and you're looking, and there's a conversation going across the table between the two of you, whatever you pick up, a couple of years down the road, 2 or 3 down, you pull the card back out, and then you remember the conversation, you remember the person, when you got it. You don't get that off a purchase off of eBay or Sport Rights or wherever, Even not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, they're all good tools to have, but it doesn't replace the in-person purchases, especially like if it was a bigger purchase, say 50 to 100 or more. I mean, if there's that one card that you want to have and you pick it up from just say Rich at a card show, it's a little more personable than buying it off of eBay or something.
I mean, the last sale I made on Saturday, other than the big one, was there were I think two brothers, and they were looking at some from my 50s box, a bunch of Brooklyn Dodgers for their dad. And I gave them a price for all of them, but I also said, look, if you're only taking one Johnny Padres, and I had a 54 and a 56, I think the 56 was cheaper. And I said, you take the 56, because the 56 is going to mention the 55 Worlds. I bet you the 55 mentions World Series Game 7, which it did. I said, that your dad would appreciate more. So you always you want to put people with the right cards.
Right. Yeah. So I see that 70s card show and Ken talking about over in the chat, talking about the backs. So like this card right here, this Musial, it's a PSA 1. It's a pour, but looks really nice. You're like, oh man, why is that a 1? Well, you turn it over and right there in the very center, there's a ripped off piece of cardboard right there, where it got stuck to something. But, but
it presents a lot better than a 1.
Exactly. So I'm totally cool with that. This is one that I paid $20 for. A lot of these I paid like $20 for, right? You can't even slab it for that much. So,
I think eventually you will.
Yeah.
But it'll take a while for Beckett and PSA to clean up their backlog.
Right, exactly.
All right. Anyway, guys, I will see you soon.
All right, we enjoyed it.
Okay.
See you, Rich.
Yeah. Hey, George, you know what that piece of cardboard missing on the back of that car is from, right? It's like when that car was pulled, the kid chewed chewing gum and stuck it on the wall.
Probably.
Exactly.
I was reading what Diego, my 68 card game set was show or shop completed set. Wanted to hunt and do everything with the memory where I got them. So okay, yeah. So the 68 card game, yeah, I've got that set somewhere over here. I'm looking because it's on the shelf over there, but I'm not going to get up and get it. I do know exactly that's in the case right there, so I do know that I have that one card in the case. That's the Mickey Mantle in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, the rest of it is up there on that shelf, though, from the 68 game set. That's a cool set, and so that's another thing too. That's one of those sets where anybody that's like, getting into vintage, they're like, I can't afford vintage, I can't afford mantles, stuff like that. Here's one you can afford. Like I paid, this one's graded, right? And not high grade. It's a 5. I think I paid $30 for this, like graded, something like that. So, Playing Days mantle graded for like $30.
There you go.
That's not bad. I mean,
no.
All right, guys. Well, we at the 2-hour mark, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it off here. I appreciate y'all joining.
Right.
Good conversation.
Yep. I always enjoy talking to y'all. Hope everybody else enjoyed it. So everybody watching, take care, and we'll see you next time.